All
Wow.
right.
God, you look a lot calmer than I am.
I got a whole squad here trying to help me get on this thing.
Well, I saw that Katie signed on early, so she obviously wasn't trying to help out.
Now it was Niall, two Irishmen trying to figure it out.
There's some joke there. How many Irishmen does it take to sign on to Instagram Live?
Apparently, two's not enough.
Well, your wife Karen was wondering where you are, so everyone has been waiting for this.
Thanks for having me, Billy. 11
Uh,
years of Wingfoot.
Yeah,
11th year.
Oh, this is the 11th year.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So
fine.
how? Just for the people that don't know, how'd you kind of find your way to golf, and then how did you end up deciding to try and become a golf professional?
My dad played when I was a kid. We grew up in Queens, and we played mostly baseball, basketball, and football. And football was kind of my game. Basketball, they called me a butcher, and baseball, I was just okay, a catcher. And so he took me up to Deepdale when I was 14 years old to caddy, and I immediately fell in love with it. Loved being on the grass, getting away from the city, going to Deepdale.
Yeah.
Some great people, and then the pro took an interest in me there, Jim Dellish, and I started to work a little bit for him on the range, in the pro shop, doing the carts, and I knew I wanted to be involved with golf right at that moment when I was.
So how much playing did having you're obviously caddying? How much playing were you doing at that time?
I just got started playing the game. I was terrible. I mean, I hit it all over the world. I mean, I had a terrible grip, and Jim helped me out, and I started getting better. I mean, I would practice pretty much every day if I came to work on time.
Yeah.
If I was 1 minute late, I couldn't practice for 3 days. So
that was his rule.
Yeah, which was good.
You and I need disciplinarians like that.
Exactly.
So from there, did he make you an assistant, or did you?
So I caddied there, and then I worked there until I was 18 years old. I worked in the shop my last year, and then I was caddying for him at the Trieber Memorial Tournament, which is match play back in the day, Tournament of Champions, and I was caddying for Jim, and he was playing against our friend Rick Rarick.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
there's a name from the past.
Yeah, kind of a former legend of the section. And Jim asked Rick if he needed an assistant. And Rick said immediately, "Yeah, I need one for the winter." So I went to Seawayn and worked for Rick for 3 years. And he kind of took me under his wing, taught me how to, talk to girls and so forth.
He was good at that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
So taking on an assistant in the winter, I can imagine what some of your jobs were. Certainly wasn't, hitting golf balls and working on your game.
No, it wasn't. It was more along the lines of folding shirts and dusting and inventory and all that fun stuff. But
and you've been you've been in the section the whole time. You never, even as an assistant, you always stayed in the New York area, right?
Yeah, I've been here all my life. I did 1 year at Loblolly Pines for Rick Whitfield in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
But Karen and I were down there from Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it was kind of tough for us that first year there. It was kind of tough, so we missed being home.
Well, and how soon did you get it from the time you started working in golf? How soon did you start having kids?
We had I was 22.
Yeah.
Right away. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll stop the traveling right there.
Yeah, I used to watch The Waltons was my favorite show. Good night, Jim Bob. Good night, John Boy, Mary Ellen, and my kids don't even know what that show is.
Oh yeah, I know. That's
from
a time past.
Megan was born in 1987.
So 87, and then your youngest was born when? Your youngest of you've got
me on the pressure.
5, right? Or 6?
2000. The twins were born in 2000. The last two, Morgan and Madison. So you got let me Megan, Michael, Caitlin, Kelsey, Morgan, and Madison. 5 girls and 1 boy.
Awesome.
We have 2 grandchildren, Stella and Michael.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures of him. He's a handsome guy.
Got a big head, big hands. He's going to be a good golfer.
So, what's it about the Mets section that that has been special for you in terms of being a golf pro? you know, it definitely has a prestige to it. But what has it meant to you being a golf pro in the Met section?
Well, you know, it was ingrained in me that the best of the best were in the Met section. The best
Yeah.
teachers, the best merchandisers, the best players, obviously. So I always tried to the first two, player and teacher. You know, the merchandising came after a while, but I usually hire great people. That's the key to my success in that area. But it's always been, you know, when I was a kid, you know, you always had Darrell Kessner, Jim Albus, Rick Meskel, Jimmy Wright, all those guys that were all great
Yeah.
in club professionals, and I always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
A good playing head professional.
And so your first head job, well, you went to Stanwich and Greenwich, right? So that was that your last assistant job before you got a head job?
Yeah, I was an assistant for Billy Farrell for 11 years at the Stanwich Club in Greenwich, Connecticut.
And for those of you that don't know, Billy is from a legendary family here in the Met section. Is great. Billy's father was a U.S. Open champion, among other things. And then Billy was a great golf professional and a big family. And unfortunately, he just passed in the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to his family, and I'll miss him dearly. He was a very positive influence in my life, kind of my main mentor with the game of golf, and great family man. You know, tried to steer me in the direction. He had a tough job keeping me in line. You know, he's very patient keeping me on for 11 years as an assistant. That's kind of.
Well, I heard you used to show up at one point. You used to show up in a Harley Davidson. Is there any truth to that?
There was, yeah. I bought a Fat Boy one year. Drove a bike in there. There's a couple members that Chuck Lee, he was the chairman of GTE. He had one. I figured I should have one as an assistant.
Yeah. Well, you'd get to work on time. I mean, going from at that point from Larchmont to Greenwich every day, unless you're leaving with Tom Neoporty at 4:30 in the morning, the motorcycle probably helped cut through some traffic, right?
It sure did. Great story about Tom. He knew every toll person's name. He would stop in the morning. He knew everybody by name. Penny told me. What a magnificent man he was.
Yeah, we've talked about him on the podcast before. Just how like saying he was the nicest guy you ever met really doesn't cover it. You know.
No.
And it came so easily. Being nice came so easily to him.
Yeah, he was one of a kind. Just a kind soul. Regard for everybody. You know, just love people.
Yeah.
Just a great guy.
And your first head pro job was at Wheatley Hills, is that right?
Yeah. So I the timing was good with that. I had won the Trieber Memorial in October, and Mike Reynolds, who was the pro at Wheatley, was retiring, and I got an interview because I won there, and basically it was great timing. Went there and got the job. Was there for 5 years. Kind of like it's a golf club, you know.
Yeah.
Not really a country club. A lot of good golfers. They had like 100 players under a 10 handicap or more, maybe more. Yeah, back in the day. Great place.
And I think you've told in the past there used to be some good times gambling around, in the late afternoon, maybe around putting green or something like that.
Yeah, there was a Wednesday night league, and we could have 150 guys showing up for it, to play 9 holes, and then we'd have a putting contest afterwards under the lights, and there was some currency exchanged by the end of the evening. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And from there on to Piping Rock, right?
Then on to Piping Rock for 7 years, which flew by. Great place, great golf club.
Yeah.
Tom Neoporty was the pro there.
Yeah.
One time, Jim Albus, and great place, fantastic membership.
And have you played there since they did the work on it?
I have, yeah. I played in the Met Open a couple of years ago.
What do you think of the changes?
I think it's fantastic. It's a great old C.B. McDonald golf course with very challenging greens. I pretty much forgot everything I knew about it the way I played there, but it was certainly great to see a lot of my old friends and to see the nice changes they made to the golf course.
Well, one of your colleagues, Sean, you're the man who followed you at Piping Rock. We were down at Lob Lolly playing in the Invitational a couple of years ago, and we went out to dinner with him. And he, after about, I don't know, he came in hot, and after about another half a bottle of wine, he made the great declaration: Piping Rock will be the best 18 in the Mid Island in 3 years. And from everything I've heard, I haven't played it since, but people have said it really has stood up to all the work that they did.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job. Greens are fast. Fairways, they took out all the rough in front of the bunkers so that the ball will run into the bunkers, the old C. McDonald style. And it's just a breathtaking property. It's hard to believe you're on Long Island when you're there. And our old buddy Sean Farron there at the creek, you got the two Seans down there, two great guys.
He was the first guy to sign on to listen to this today.
Farron, love him.
Yes.
Yeah, he kind of took over my Walter Hagen duties when I retired from the business there. Great player too. Qualified for the U.S. Open at Bethpage, Shawnee did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
One of the best putters I've ever seen.
Yeah, best thing that ever happened to him was Lisa, though. You know that, right?
She's listening too, so she heard you. So when Wingfoot came knocking on the door, what was your thought?
My thought was I got a great place here at Piping Rock, but Wingfoot just called, and I got to answer that call.
Yeah.
That's as I said in the interview, you get one chance to play at the Yankee Stadium of golf, and fortunately it worked out.
Yeah, fortunately for us, it was hard to believe that there was a second search for a golf professional in the Met section within a 5-year period. But I've said before, there's not a more perfect fit between you and the Wingfoot Golf Club.
Yeah, it's been a great meld. Very, very lucky to be here. Great people, fun.
Yeah.
Billy, you can go. You know the deal here. I mean, if you have a bad day, you're still going out of here belly laughing 10 times.
Oh yeah.
And the bad days are few and far between. They're never really solved.
Yeah. We had Craig Harmon on a couple of weeks ago, and I made that statement, that you were the perfect guy for Wingfoot. He completely agreed, had nothing but nice things to say to you. And I think I shocked him when I said, yeah, he's a, degenerate Irish guy amongst a bunch of degenerate Irish guys. I don't think he was expecting me to be so frank, but I mean it in the most complimentary way.
Last time I saw Craig with Billy, I was doing a school down at MacArthur with Billy, and Craig was yelling at me and Billy the whole time. You think you two guys could tell somebody the same thing during the clinic, So it was a lot of fun being with them.
Now, what was it like? What kind of flowed through your head when you were found such a great legacy at Wingfoot? Obviously we mentioned Tom Neaporti, but you also had, Mr. Harmon and Craig Wood prior to that, a real great legacy to be a part of.
Oh, I came up here and I was scared to death. I was like, oh my God, I got the job. Now I'm going up there to the God-fearing village of Mamaroneck with all the great pros who won majors and look, I'm a club pro, always have been. I love being a club pro. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. So I just do what I do, take interest in people's golf games and hire some great assistants and try to carry on the Wingfoot culture. Great playing assistants and great golf shop, and that's what we've done.
Well, you're discounting your own playing ability. You've played in 5 majors, or you qualified for 5 majors, right? A couple of U.S. Opens and a couple of PGAs. Is that right?
Yeah.
Where were they? Where are those? I think wasn't one of them at Torrey Pines, the most recent?
Yeah, Torrey Pines in 2008. I shot $1 million. I probably have the highest scoring average in majors ever. And it's Torrey Pines 2008, Pebble Beach 1992. That was my first one. I was at Stanwich, assistant there, and then PGA at Medina in '99, PGA at Hazeltine in 2002, and then the Senior Open at Scioto.
Yeah. So none on the East Coast, so Midwest and California.
Yeah. Yeah, California U.S. Opens.
Well, but
Pretty
it would
good.
have been. It's a shame that they're not going to have local qualifying for all the Met section pros to get a chance to qualify here.
Yeah, it really is. It's terrible. It's like the United States closed now instead of the United States Open. It's
Yeah,
too bad.
yeah.
It really is.
Well, you were actually out in California when everything went down, right?
Yeah, we were waiting for you, buddy. Weren't we? We were out there getting ready for the Summit Pro-Am. I know
Yeah,
Ron Fern's going out, and yeah, that's one of my favorite times of the year. We get to play with you and Jimmy and Frank and former past champion, thanks to you and Jimmy and
yeah, and
one
his
year,
son, and his
Tyler
son.
year, 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were waiting, and then they were trying to have it, and then they canceled it. What you guys canceled it about
A
5 days?
week, yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
the Friday before
yeah,
that weekend started. Yeah, I was supposed to come and meet you on Sunday, and as you can imagine, it just started getting crazier and crazier, and it just didn't make any sense. And in hindsight, it was the right decision. How long before you guys made a trip back? Did you stay any longer, or did you guys pretty much turn around and come back?
No, I was waiting for the call. The minute that we got the call, because we were worried we were going to get stuck there.
Yeah.
So we left the next day. We got right on a plane and came home, which was wise.
Well, with the Open coming, what are your favorite holes on the West Course?
My favorite hole is number 2, the elm hole. I'm a big fan of the elm tree, so I love the way that green, the big elm canopy is about a quarter of the green there.
Yeah.
Dog leg right. The hole's been modernized now. It's 490, very long. 10 West has always been a favorite of mine. I look out my office. I got 10 West on one side, 18 West on the other. But I think we're going to have a pretty good test of golf here come the fall.
Yes, Rabideau has the place built for speed.
He sure does. It's going to be long. Just under 7,500 yards, par 70. Fairways are going to be very narrow. I won't tell you what the rough is or the green speeds. The USGA will do that, but
yeah,
it should be a great, good old-fashioned Winged Foot U.S. Open.
Have you gone back and played the tips this year so far?
I went back last night. I played the new tee on 17, which is 510. 510 on 17.
Is that off of the 13th tee, or
Yeah,
is that?
exactly. We built a new tee on right next to 13 green, and it looks like it was there forever.
Yeah.
Steve did a great job with that. And then it used to be the first 4 at Winged Foot. If you could get out of the box and even par, you were like 4 shots ahead of anybody else.
Yeah.
We made 5, which is historically a par 5 in the Open, and for the members, a par 4 at 510. So right out of the box, they've got 5 of the most difficult golf holes that there is.
And one of the probably the biggest misconceptions would be to relax on number 6.
Yeah, the rough is, I think that'll be secondary cut all the way around on number 6. And have you seen, the fairway is, I think, maybe 19 yards wide. So even the layup, it looks pretty difficult. So hopefully, I think they want them to go for the green.
Yeah.
Take their chances, and we'll see. We'll have some good pins on that hole.
What's the most underrated hole that you think is out there?
You know what? Every hole on the West is difficult. I'd say underrated, maybe 11. 360, short hole. Narrow fairway. The green is slopes significantly from back to front, and we have very few pins on it, so it's very slow.
Yeah.
I think that's an underrated hole.
And one of the only holes where out of bounds is actually kind of in play.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And has anyone have you escorted anybody around the course for practice rounds yet? Since we got in this year before.
Not right now. We're not really doing guests with the COVID right now. So hopefully, we're in phase one with the governor. Hopefully, we'll get to phase two, and then we'll get some guests in here, and hopefully, we'll start to see some tour pros come in to do some practice rounds, have some practice rounds.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, I wasn't a member the last time we had it, but you heard about, both Tiger and Phil kind of from a year out, coming up several times to play some practice rounds before.
Yeah, Jack Druga said he spent like a week with Tiger and Phil and Rory as well.
Really?
Yeah, this course sets up great for Rory. There's a lot of high draw tee shots here, and Jace, yeah, I think Rory will do very well here.
Well, that was my next question. Did you have a prediction on who you think is who's gonna do well?
I get the daily update on Rory McIlroy from my dad, from Dublin, and so I'm going to say Rory McIlroy, but he's a favorite of mine too. But
yeah,
I love the Brooks Koepkas, the Dustin Johnsons. You got to have a big game here, but you got to drive it in the fairway.
Yeah, for sure.
Our approaches are, our greens complexes are the most difficult, I think, around. So
yeah,
I think you got to do it all here. Plus, you got to putt it too.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's where most people underestimate it.
Yeah, I mean, you can really put when the greens are fast and the rough's up. I mean, you can put the pins all in the middle, and you're gonna have a hard time.
So how are you doing now? Yeah, I mean, I having known you a couple of years, I know the off season for you. Usually you come back with a couple of stories. Having a delayed start, you're doing good. Have you been able to keep your game in shape?
Not really. We've been I've kind of been the jack of all trades around here, kind of making sure we've had a lot of play. So
yeah,
and helping out with the tees, and now I got my staff back here, so we're functioning at almost like 90% capacity. So we've got the entire operation going here. We're trying to catch up in the shop right now. We've got a lot of product out there that we're trying to get priced and put on the shelves to then we got all these regulations now where we have to have everything behind and 6 feet and all that. So we're trying to figure that out. Hopefully we'll get that done by the weekend.
Well, one of my favorite off-season stories of yours involves a UPS truck. You know the story I'm talking about around Christmas time, maybe?
Oh yeah, I used to in the off season. I think I was an assistant. I did 1 year at Mutton Town, and I worked at UPS to subsidize my income, and I got robbed like 3 times there. Once on Columbus Avenue, and it was snowing one night. I was out. They used to fill my truck up to the back because I would work all day basically and come in under the time allotment, so they just kept on putting more. And it was 9 o'clock at night. There was still a store open, and I left the back of the truck unlocked and just ran in with a COD package. And when I came out, this man said there was like 5 guys running down the block with your boxes from the back of the truck. So I chased them. I got a couple of them back, gave a couple to the doorman on Central Park West, and I said to myself, I got to make a living on the golf course. I can't be doing this.
Yeah, playing linebacker out on this Columbus Avenue. Yeah. Well, here we got some questions teed up for you from the people listed here. Let me see what we got. Okay, without giving away any pro tips, what do you expect to challenge players most at the U.S. Open?
The rough. The rough has always been significant at Winged Foot in the U.S. Open championships. It's you got to hit the fairways. Guys like Hale Irwin, Fuzzy Zeller, great drivers of the golf ball. So the rough is probably drive the ball in the fairway. You got a chance.
You have any style? This is from B.Draddy. He wants to know if you have any Harley stories.
I don't have a I didn't I never went down on my motorcycle. I went to the motorcycle safety course, which is you have to do it if you drive a motorcycle. And I'll never drive a motorcycle again because on Thanksgiving I took my cousin's. He had a chopper, one of these big jobs here
Yeah.
like this, and I took it out and I went down doing about 60. And I had this canvas polo double RL jacket on and a
Yeah.
couple and some keys, and that kind of saved me because I slid about 40 yards, kept my
Wow.
head up, but the bike was totally demolished. So that's my I've stayed away from motorcycles from there, but the safety course kind of helped me get through that.
Yeah. Knowing what to do once it started, started bailing on
Yeah,
you.
yeah, no more motorcycles.
Another question up there was someone said there's a story from Pebble Beach last year in the ocean.
Yeah,
You pulling someone out of the ocean? Is that right?
yeah, yeah. There's a beach there. It's called Monastery Beach, and it's got this significant undertow. And Karen and I were walking by. It was a rainy day, and we had just gotten there by the parking lot. We were walking from Carmel, and I saw a person, a lady with two dogs walking. And at that time of the year, the Carmel River comes down from the mountain, all the rain, and it goes right through into the ocean.
Yeah.
And it's a significant current. So the dogs, I saw the dogs going into the river, and they got swept out to the ocean. And then I saw the girl, young lady, going in after the dogs, and then she got swept out.
Oh man.
So I said to Karen, I gotta go. She's going to be in trouble. So
Yeah.
I ran, and then I jumped in, and then it took me out, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die here too. But by the time she saw me coming,
Yeah.
and she said, thanks be to God, because I felt like I could, I had somebody coming for me. I had a chance.
Yeah.
We were both in there for a little while until we got out. We got out at the same time. I was trying to get to her, and she was trying to get to me, but we knew we had each other in there, and then we wound up being great.
And you were able to pull the dogs out too, right?
We wound. What's that?
You were able to pull the dogs out too, right?
No, the dogs got out before us. The dogs got out first.
Yeah.
We were in there, and
that's another lesson. Yeah, another
exactly.
lesson. If the dogs go in, they'll make their way out. It's called animal instinct.
Yeah. It all worked out great. Yeah. Thanks be to God.
And you have any thoughts on what the rest of the year is going to be like, in terms of golf and everything like that? I
think we've never been busier right now.
Yeah.
It seems like now people are starting to go back to work, so it's a little bit it's not as busy during the week, but we're full jam. People are playing. Thank God they've had the golf courses where they can come to. This is their sanctuary. So it's been good that way.
It really has been a saving grace, when you're at home all day, and and even if it's just to play 4 or 5 holes, more nights than not, I've grabbed the 2 youngest and played 4 or 5 holes at 6:15, and it's such a blessing to be able to get out there and just let it out a little bit.
It sure is. It's great. And, I'm starting to play a little bit more at night around here. It's so beautiful in the evenings here.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It really is the best.
Yeah, really. It's all good.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about calling you the other day. I've got a pesky squirrel around here that's, I've been doing a lot of honeydews on the weekends. No, I'm serious. I've got this, we have a screened in porch, and so I replaced the screens and everything like that. And wouldn't you know it, this little bugger, he put a hole right through it. And so I was starting to think about how do I really get this thing, do I poison it? Do I get an air gun, a BB gun? So I was going to give you a call because I know you had some varmint problems.
Leave the squirrels back. Feed the squirrels, Billy. Leave the squirrels alone.
Well, what you want to know what has actually worked? was we stuck one of my son's smelly socks right in the hole, and the squirrel hasn't come back in.
All right, I'll try that next time.
All right. Well, Mike, you know you're one of my favorite guys on the planet.
Me too,
I love spending time with you.
You as well.
You're I call you the Dark Knight of golf pros, and you live up to that all the time. And I think I can speak for the rest of the membership at Wingfoot that we feel really lucky to have you. So
thank you. I feel the same way about you, and thanks for everybody for tuning in here. I appreciate it.
Well,
Neil Regan's doing very well. He's been a great help. There's a question there about Neil Regan.
Yeah.
Club historian, and he's been very valuable in all our restoration projects going on here. And he's just a sweet guy. Really good.
Yeah, he uncovered some photographs, didn't he?
Yeah, he had old aerials that he provided to Gil Hans to restore Wingfoot back to its original design. Great.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to a great championship come September.
We will. Thank you.
And I'll see you sooner rather than later.
Great, pal.